Hello, everyone. This is GetSelious back at it again with my boy SithScott, and we'll be giving you our impressions of Wolfstride. Wolfstride is a mecha RPG life simulator. I don't know. Can you even call it a life simulator?
I mean, you could probably call it a life simulator. I mean, you spend some of your time and days just running to places.
That's true, but I don't know what to call it life simulator because I really wouldn't want to live the life of Mr. Shade, the character on my far right here. The glasses and the pop collar. Don't want to live that life. But no, I would say it's a mecha RPG that has elements of strategy RPG and persona elements put together, where you are doing similar tasks every day to reach to a giant goal, and the goal in Wolfstride is to have that big mecha fight. So basically, you spend your days repairing your robot, getting your robot parts, making sure Knife Leopard, aka Pineapples, is up to speed by learning some new techniques, whatever, and then you get ready for the robot fight. Does that describe it well, Scott?
Yeah. I mean, I like to think of it as like those old boxing games where you spend like your days working on your stats, working on getting yourself ready for the big encounter.
Yeah, yeah. But the only thing we need is like wait, I would say like Hajime no, we need a Dempsey roll. Actually, if that attack is in this game, please don't sue me. But no, it's really cool that way. It's the game is really strong in that aspect. What it does. The only thing I feel the game does, I guess actually a lot of the game does well. It's not the only thing. The game has a really strong art design. Um, you would think a game like this having black and white color palette would just kind of be meh, but actually not. The characters are very well expressive in their arts, the portrait art and portrait arts used to express their I guess their expressions and the comments they say, and the pixel art's really nice, good looking to boot.
Yeah, I really enjoy the way that they have their characters expressed, especially one in particular, which is Duke. He is by far the most relatable character in this game, but he has some of the best faces and interactions and lines, and it just makes me love and also feel bad for him.
Duke is the everyday common man. I'll give a little backdrop to him. So basically, the reason why three out of the five characters here, Duke the dog, Knife Leopard, the men with the anime protagonist with the amazing pecs, which makes me feel jealous, and Shade, the man with the glasses and the pop collar, they inherited a robot from their dead friend, and they decided to be mech fighters. Duke is, little spoiler, is dead set on getting rid of this robot. I don't want to be part of this thing. This is stupid.
Yep. And then you have Knife, who is the literal anime pro tag who thinks he can win everything through friendship and willpower.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work in real life, I'm sad to say.
And then
And in this game, it doesn't work for him that well either sometimes.
no. And then you have Dominic Shade, Mr. Shade. He is very mysterious. He has a lot of things going on, from talking to people who may or may not be there to beating a random girl that knows who he is. Well, I don't know what that's about, but he's very interesting. And this game adds a lot of narrative in the things you do before you get to the fight or the lead up to the fight. One of the game's strong points, I guess not strong points, is the pacing, how it's done. You get used to the rhythm of the game very quickly, such as preparing for the fight, getting items in town, doing odd jobs for people to raise money for your mech or to buy things you need, and then you get ready for the big fight, and that's pretty much it.
Then that gives us to the part of actually getting to the fight of the mechas.
Yeah,
So the fighting is actually kind of cool because it's kind of like a strategy RPG that matters on your placements, and based on the moves that you have, you can also push back your enemy to different locations. And depending on the location you're at, you get an advantage in your attack, or sometimes you'll get a disadvantage at where you're at. It's all really well done, I think. I think it's very well crafted and put together.
exactly. The advantage and disadvantages is really interesting because you can, if you play aggressive enough, you can put your enemy to the back of. There is no infinite space. There is a finite amount of space. It's like 7, 8 plus amount of squares, right? And you could push your opponent into the corner, and if you have any attack that pushes them further back in the corner, do insane damage. But if you play too defensively, your opponent approaches you, you can get hit by that too. So you definitely have to be aware of the position. And each fight, as I think Scott may have said it during our playthroughs, it's just satisfying, or in general, it's really satisfying when you win these fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when it's like mechas that are really tough to fight, which, to be fair, I feel like most of the fights in this can be pretty difficult, especially if you're not paying attention. I think that's the thing that makes the most sense in this game is you have to pay attention to your enemy, make sure you know what part they have, what part does that do, and if you can get rid of it, how fast should you get rid of it so that you can continuously to pummel their actual weak spot you need to work on, which is like the core inside their chest.
Right, which, as you say, similar to boxing. You know, you wanna go for the knockout punch, but you have to work on the ribs. You have to make sure you're deflecting their jab hooks. You know, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I really appreciate the way that it's orchestrated that way, because and this actually I think works really well in the sense of being a mecha kind of RPG fighting system. Is it's also cool to see like the animations of when the parts like get blown up or explodey-ish. But they also have this thing called like a nanotech fluid that allows them to revive parts or restore HP to whatever parts you're working on.
True.
And you have the same thing. It's kind of cool to enter as another like resource because you can focus on like say 2 different parts, and because they're focused on one other part, you can basically destroy the other part as they keep fixing the other one.
Exactly. And if you burn that resource because they don't have time to do it, you could just go on with your strategy. Basically, you're gonna have to plan out your attacks, plan out your range, and try to take. You might have to take a risk or two to get there. I think that, but what you can't do in this game is I tried offline, not filmed, is that you cannot just do the brain dead. LOL, hit the weakness, you win. That is not going to win any fights for you. That's not happening.
Nope. Try it that way. I feel like they're just gonna get rid of some of your parts, so you no longer even have the option to do it.
Exactly. And like I said, the game does well in strategy. Is that again, the stronger you become with Knife Leopard, the more abilities you can add to your character, the more options you have for your fighting. And each of these moves can be upgraded within each battle, so you can curtail it to your style or your condition. Let's say you're fighting a robot that specializes in range, you might want to get some better close range attacks or abilities that pushes them away to the corner. Because if you just get close enough to them and they're in the wall, boom, 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 couple of hits, it's just, TKO. So I think that's about what it is to the combat section of it. I feel like that in itself is really satisfying, but it takes some time to get there. I think that the only downside I would bring to Wolfstride is how repetitive the game can feel. Though the narrative can keep you interesting, the world is very alive. You see stories, even by NPC characters you walk on by. Like at the bar, you'll see a guy called Lionel, and he's talking to a bounty hunter about trying to find Lullaby, and you see that story go on while you're focusing on your mech battle. Is pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like how they have the background characters doing things and having like their own intimate moments and discussing their own priorities. And in other cases, you'll have the NPCs actually react to how your fights have gone or how your character has been doing things. So it's not just like the barren world, even though it's all like pixelated work.
True, and it gives you that Persona vibes, like in I would guess like in Persona vibes where the world's kind of going on, you're still doing your things you got to do, but things are changing over time, and I think it's pretty cool. But it could be a bit repetitive because there are some times you just want to zoom or auto jump or teleport to the next spot, but there's like sections of the map where you just have to run to the next spot. It just eats up so much time. At least in my mind.
It really does take up a lot of time going from one screen to the next screen to get to the like kind of fast travel screen.
Exactly.
And then certain locations you have to go from that fast travel screen to another screen to get to the other screen that you get to the actual place you need to go. and it just kind of takes you out a bit sometimes because you're focused on what you're trying to do, but you're just, I have to get to this screen, to this screen, to this screen, to this screen.
Yeah, and then there's the let's say you had a mechanic of doing there's a mechanic in this game to earn some side money to help you buy things you need or upgrade your robot called the jobs mechanic, side jobs. Imagine just running to screen doing just side jobs. That can get a bit annoying without a fast travel, you know?
Big time.
Ride that bike, baby.
If only we had the bike.
That's true. That's true. But definitely the narrative and the thing of the game is really strong. If I had to give this game a rating out of 5, I give the game a solid 4 out of 5. Its narrative is strong. The combat mechanics, though they happen, the fight it builds up to the fight very well. So when it happens, it does take some time to do so, and it's very satisfying when you win. There are multiple strategies you can use to win. I think it's pretty cool. I think the art style of the game is beautiful. For a black and white game, I thought this would be, a little more dreary, a little more noirish. I mean, but this world feels very vibrant for being in black and white, so I definitely enjoy the art aesthetic as well. So the only weakness, again, it could be considered repetitive for some people, and this game is a little bit on the slower pace side, at least for some people who may not like RPGs that. It takes a while to get into because, a little spoiler, I guess. The first couple of fights in this game are a bit unfair, and you will have to eat a lot of losses. So that can be a little discouraging.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that they make you have that many auto losses at once. It kind of makes you almost feel like you don't want to keep going with it.
Yeah.
Until you get that first big win, and then you're just like, okay, I can handle this now.
Definitely. And in the worst part is even if you figure out the enemy's weakness and those auto losses, they still win anyway, which is like, that's so unfair.
It's so sad because we worked so hard on one of the auto loss fights to see if we could actually win it, and then they still utilize the stuff we got rid of, and it just felt bad.
That's true. So Scott, what would you be giving the game if you had to rate it out of 5?
I would actually agree with you and give it a 4 out of 5. The only issue I necessarily have with this game is just mostly the auto travel mechanics with trying to go from screen to screen to screen. It takes you out of the game. It takes you basically, it's just like there's easier ways to just go to fast travel, and they already implement a fast travel system. They should just be able to give you like a fast travel to sections you need to go to. Otherwise, I think this game is really well crafted. The combat system is really well thought. It has a boxer / mech vibes, which I really enjoy. I used to play a ton of like those Rumble games back on the PlayStation 1 era, and it reminded me of like those kind of fighting styles.
Oh, are you talking about like Custom Robo, those type of games?
Well, I have played Custom Robo. I was talking about the Rumble back in like the PlayStation 1 era when they had like the guy at the afro where you had to do boxing.
Oh man, yeah. Oof. Well, that's a blast from the past. I haven't.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that just reminds me of this. Maybe it's Afro Cat.
It's Africa. Yeah. Zowie the cat lady. She has so many cats. Shout out to the pixel artist or the artist who drew all those cats. You're the real hero.
Seriously.
But anyway, that is myself, GetSelious Scott, signing out to talk about this. If you're interested in Wolfstride, please wish us the game on Steam, and you'll be notified when it comes out. The game on launch will be worth, unless a sale happens or anything, will be worth $14.99 USD. So it's not a bad purchase. This game has a lot of content for roughly $15.
Yeah, it's pretty much a steal for that much.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to like sit through a lot of stuff. That's all I'm saying. You're gonna sit through a lot, because it will again. It's how to put it. It's the game is more of a journey than a completion, because I really do feel like when you're playing this game, everything feels much more, I guess, complete the more you do it. Just like Persona, like the more you spend time in, I would say Persona 4, Persona 5, the more you spend time in Inaba, you get to love the town more, or the things that happen because you know the schedule down. So you get to experience it more, and you get to, I guess, it's like being part. It makes you part of the world because you do it enough times, you know.
Yeah, I agree that it has a life of its own inside the towns and the places that you go, which is very nice. And overall, I'd say this is a very enjoyable game to play.
Yep. All right. I hope you guys check out Wolfstride when it comes out. Again, it'll be available on PC, and it'll be $14.99, so USD. So I don't know what that equals in other currencies, but I hope it's cheap or affordable. Affordable. All right. You got any left on award, Scott?
No, I think you said it right. I just say this is a good game. Play it. If you don't like it, well, that sounds like you don't like it.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. And again, if you're interested in more of our gameplay, we have gameplay videos of Wolfstride on the channel. So check them out, share them, give them a like, and sub to the channel. It helps us out, and it'll be updated with our future content going forward. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.